Hello, everyone, how are you? Welcome to SS Express Media with Uzal Hussain. Today I discuss about excellent. Let's begin. 30 Days to Fluent English. Episode 01. Think in English from Day 1. English Earth Podcast. Host, male narrator. Hello everyone, and welcome to English Earth. I hope you're having an amazing day wherever you're listening from. If this is your very first time here, let me warmly welcome you to one of the most practical English speaking courses you'll ever experience. And if you've already joined our community, welcome back. I'm genuinely excited because today marks the beginning of an incredible journey. Over the next 30 days, we are going to train our minds, our ears, and our voices to communicate naturally in English. This isn't just another grammar course or vocabulary lesson. It's a complete transformation in the way you think, understand, and speak. Today's lesson is probably the most important lesson in the entire series because it introduces one powerful concept that changes everything. Think in English instead of translating. At first, this idea might sound impossible. You may be thinking, how can I think in English when I don't even know enough words? Or maybe you're wondering, I've always translated from Bangla to English. Isn't that how everyone learns? These are normal questions. Almost every English learner has asked them. But here's something you need to understand from the very beginning. Your biggest problem is probably not your vocabulary. It's not your grammar. It's not even your pronunciation. The biggest obstacle is the habit of translating every single sentence before speaking. Imagine that someone asks you a simple question. What did you have for breakfast? If your brain immediately starts translating from your native language, several things happen at once. First, you remember the sentence in Bangla. Then you search for English words. Next, you worry about grammar. After that, you try to arrange the words correctly. Finally, after several seconds of thinking, you answer. By the time you speak, the conversation has already moved on. This is exactly why many English learners feel nervous. It's not because they aren't intelligent. It's because their brain is working twice as hard. Now imagine something different. Someone asks the same question. What did you have for breakfast? Instead of translating, your brain immediately creates an English picture. You remember yourself eating eggs. You remember drinking tea. You simply say, I had eggs and tea this morning.
No translation.
No fear.
No hesitation.
Just communication. That is exactly what fluent speakers do. Many learners believe that fluent speakers know thousands of difficult words. The truth is much simpler. Fluent speakers think directly in English. Today, we are going to begin building that habit together. Let me tell you a story. Several years ago, I met a student who had been studying English for almost 10 years. He had excellent grammar. He knew hundreds of vocabulary words. He could solve difficult English examination questions without making mistakes. But whenever someone spoke English to him, he became completely silent. One day, I asked him a simple question. What is your favorite season? He looked at me for almost 15 seconds. Then he smiled nervously and answered, My favorite season is winter. The answer was correct. The grammar was perfect. But why did it take 15 seconds? Because he wasn't speaking English. He was translating. Inside his mind, the process looked like this. First, he thought of the Bangla sentence. Then he translated each word into English. Then he checked the grammar. Then he worried about pronunciation. Finally, he spoke. His problem wasn't English. His problem was his thinking process. So we changed one habit. Instead of translating, I asked him to imagine pictures. When I said winter, I asked him not to think about the Bangla word. Instead, I asked him to imagine cold weather. A warm jacket, fog, hot coffee, morning walks, beautiful sunshine. Suddenly, the English word winter became connected to images instead of another language. Week after week, we repeated this exercise. Slowly, his brain stopped translating. 6 months later, his speaking confidence improved dramatically. He wasn't using more grammar books. He wasn't memorizing endless vocabulary lists. He was simply thinking in English. And that's exactly what you're going to learn throughout this course. Now let me ask you something. When you see this word, apple, what happens inside your mind? Do you immediately imagine a red apple? Or do you first think of the Bangla word and then imagine the fruit? If your answer is the second one, don't worry. That is completely normal. But starting today, we are going to change it. Whenever you learn a new English word, don't connect it to an image. Connect it to a sound. Connect it to an experience. Think about the smell of an apple, its color, its taste, the feeling of holding it in your hand. This simple habit trains your brain to Let's try another example. The word is rain. Don't translate it. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine dark clouds. Imagine hearing raindrops hitting the roof. Imagine people opening umbrellas. Imagine children jumping into puddles. Notice what happened. You understood the word without translating it. That is exactly how children learn their first language. They don't begin with dictionaries. They begin with experiences. The same method works for English. Now let's practice together. I'm going to say a word. Don't translate it. Just imagine it. Coffee. Can you smell it? Can you see the cup? Can you imagine the warm steam rising from it? Excellent. Now another word. Beach. Can you hear the waves? Can you feel the sand under your feet? Can you imagine the bright blue sky? Wonderful. Now another. Picture the classroom. Your teacher. Your classmates. Your books. The school bell. You're not translating. You're thinking in English. This is the first and most important step toward fluency. Many learners ask me, how long does it take to build this habit? The answer depends on one thing: practice. If you spend just 15 or 20 minutes every day thinking in English, you'll begin noticing changes much sooner than you expect. At first, your brain will resist. It will naturally want to translate. That's okay. Don't fight it. Simply return your attention to English images. Day after day, your brain will create new pathways. Eventually, thinking in English will feel natural. And one day, you'll suddenly realize something amazing. You're speaking without translating. You're answering questions faster. You're understanding conversations more easily. You're enjoying English instead of fearing it. That moment is the beginning of real fluency. And today is the first step toward that goal. So promise yourself something before this lesson ends. From today onward, whenever you learn a new English word, you will connect it to a picture, an action, a feeling, or a real-life experience, not to a translation. That single habit can completely change the way you learn English. Take a deep breath, smile, and remember this. You don't become fluent by translating more. You become fluent by thinking more in English. And today, you've already started that journey. In the next part, we'll continue this podcast with practical mind training exercises, real-life examples, storytelling, and guided thinking activities that build the habit of thinking directly in English. Thanks for all of you.